Live from the Lucas Oil Studios, it's Horsepower Hump Day.
Whoa.
Because every NASCAR fan needs a push of the old bumper to get them over that hump.
Stop. Oh, my God.
Here's Kenny, Crash, Richie, and Cole. Let's get humping, boys.
Freak Nation, it's still a Coca-Cola 600 Indy 500 hangover. I can promise you some of it's going to take effect here in the Freak Nation over the next 45, 50 minutes as we do a Horsepower Hump Day every Wednesday live on YouTube, Freak Nation. Be sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, the website, SpeedFreaks.tv. You missed our Sunday night show from 7 to 9 Pacific. You can watch it again on Monday, noon Eastern and Pacific on Racer Network. Cole Cusimano's back here in the Freak Nation. He doesn't have the freaking Beetlejuice eyes going on this afternoon. Good to see Cole Cusimano back in fighting shape, my friend.
That's right. Back in full health. No jeepers creepers. Where do you get those peepers type
Did we figure out, was it the ecstasy finally taking effect?
Oh,
it was that a combination of some edibles, maybe.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
if you want to go there,
I was playing to it at this point.
Yeah, right?
Richard C. Suave's back in town from Indianapolis. Good to see you, Richard. Nice attire you have there, my friend.
I'm never taking this hat or this shirt off ever again.
The magic has bestowed itself upon
I'm
Richie.
addicted. I'm addicted now.
Yes.
Well, here's the good news is more than likely Cole Cusimano is going to be joining Crash Gladys at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Bommarito 500.
Which is this weekend, right? I mean, it's like the very next weekend, right after the Indy 500, is an oval.
Yeah, right.
So it's this weekend. We're going this weekend, right?
That's what the smart money would say, right?
Exactly.
Well, it's not, Crasher. It's a Detroit street course.
Just what I want to see.
Yep, there it is. After you're rolling at about 240 on Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you go to a street course.
Woo!
That's good marketing right there.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah. Awesome.
Hey, I'll give my man Chris Blair, general manager of Worldwide Technology, a lot of credit. He's tried and tried and tried to be the second. But we know Roger Penske's got the home of Detroit.
Okay, and that's fine and dandy, but guess what? You've also got the series. You've also got something called momentum that you need to be playing into with your other investment known as the IndyCar series. And if people are stoked, like 7 million plus are after the 109th running of the Indy 500, keep that momentum going with another, not quite as fast, but a high-speed oval. Let's go. He should be focusing on that investment, not his backyard investment in the city of Detroit. Because guess what? Detroit can be next. Like it was, I'm not trying to go back in the day, but like it was back in the day in which you would go the 500 into the Milwaukee Mile over to Detroit. That was incredibly successful for many, many, many years. That's what needs to happen now. You need to go Indy to St. Louis, WWT Raceway, and then into Detroit. You still get it there within the 3 weeks after.
Like I said, the hangover is still lasting with us, Freak Nation. Richard C., his first time to catch an IndyCar race live at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Crash Gladys, his lovely host. Richie, I don't spend a whole lot of time on this because I don't want you to put me to sleep about how important the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was for you. Do people care on YouTube right now? What a damn good time Richie had?
Yes, because he gets other people interested for their first trip coming up next year or the year after or the year after.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that funny?
It's like I'm like a salesman. I had to sell people on showing up next year.
Well, show up to Worldwide Technology Raceway. Show up to Worldwide.
Yeah, show up to go,
question. Yes,
show up to go watch those cars on a short oval, which is even crazier. Having seen it previously at Phoenix Raceway, like watching those cars get around that track in like 15 seconds as fast as they're going is just like I'm going to do a little bit of impression. Okay, here's my impression. It's a little bit easier at any IMS. You're still doing a little bit of this, but when you go to Worldwide Technology Raceway, you're doing this. You're doing that. That's what you're doing on a short oval like Worldwide Technology Raceway. So,
what a great ambassador for the sport, man.
Cole,
look at my merch. Look at this.
I love that.
Look at my shirt.
That's a really badass shirt.
Yeah.
Shout out Home Field. This is Home Field. They are a local Indianapolis company, and They put out a bunch of cool IMS merch, and this is representing the 1991 Indianapolis 500, which was the year I was born. So I got to represent that, and I got my hat that I was wearing on Sunday night. This is limited edition too. Really hard to see, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not taking this off ever again.
You know, if we actually had somebody manning Richie's camera, I don't think they could keep it in focus the way that son of a bitch moves around. Even. Bam, 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 bam. It's like a road course.
You asked him to give an impression of IndyCar racing, and he did it.
I'm not complaining.
I can't stay still.
I'm just trying to explain to the Freak Nation out there why Richie's camera goes in and out of focus. If he would just stay still every now and then, maybe we can get a good glimpse. Actually, it's great. You can really see that shirt there, Skipjack.
Yeah.
And your impression, though, when you walked into the hollow grounds of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Richie, when you came through that tunnel, I'm sure you came through the tunnel, the crasher, the
north side.
North side, right?
Yeah, that's the less climatic tunnel. But he eventually did go through the tunnel that leads to the museum. But yeah, but he had already been there a couple days by then.
Oh, so what's your question? What are you asking me?
Your impression when you first rolled into an oval that could house 3 or 4 different Super Bowl stadiums.
Try 11.
It took me a while to figure out where I was in a way, because we were so busy with media day stuff when we first got there on Thursday that it took me a bit. There was nobody there, it was just media, just okay, I've done this, been here, done that. But you show up on carb day and you show up on race day Sunday, and things just completely hit 100% differently. And you show up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and the place is already packed with people, and you got to pay some random guy to park in your lawn at 6 o'clock in the morning with $60 in cash. It's okay, this place is built different. But it didn't really, honestly, it didn't really hit me where I was until carb day, and when they after the practice session had ended and after the hot dog race had ended, they opened up the track, and so I was able to I walked Crash over the bricks. Crash, I need my picture kissing the bricks. Okay, I think that is the thing that when I did that for the first time, I was like, holy shit, man! I'm on this yard of bricks that has been around for 100+ years. And that's when it really hit me in terms of where exactly I was. And then that feeling didn't really leave me until I left on Sunday night. So, yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
Did you cry?
No, I'm not going to cry. No.
I wonder if anyone truly cries their first visit. I mean, you got to get the history inside of your whole entire being before the tears take you over.
Actually, during the Oscar Mayer Wiener, that was I got me a little teary,
That's justified.
Cole, please tell me if and when you go to Dover, you will not just crap your pants and cry. Please tell me.
I'm gonna bow down to Miles the Monster. There's gonna be I'm gonna be a mess. I want to go this year. That's the plan. I don't know if it's gonna happen, but yeah.
Is Dover June or July?
It's June and June.
Okay, time is ticking.
Yeah.
It's actually the week before the Brickyard.
Oh, so that's July. Because the Brickyard is the end of July.
The last week of June is Dover.
Okay.
It might be the first week of July.
Or is it Pocono that's just before the Brickyard? Hold on a second.
God forbid we can actually look this up on the internet instead of talking out of our asses.
We have that technology?
Dover is right before
in 2025?
Brickyard, right? He thinks it's the end of June. Crasher thinks it's the middle of the end of July.
Dover's coming up July 20th.
There you go.
Oh, Dover's July. I'm sorry.
Crash was right. It goes Dover and then Brickyard 400, July 27th.
There you go.
We got time.
Yeah. Richie, one last thing on your time to the Indianapolis 500. Again, we throw this camera. I'm going to fire our camera operator, but I think he can actually man it properly. Will you turn around and show the Freak Nation your burn on the back of your neck?
Oh,
Just
I want
turn
to see
around.
that too.
Oh, well, it's not bad.
You can see the peeling now.
It's not bad as. Hold on. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they're supposed to be only rednecks in NASCAR.
Yeah. Well, this isn't even a red. It's like
this is a
there's
carb
a stripe.
day burn. Yeah.
It's a stripe.
Yeah.
It's a lanyard strip. Look at him.
There you go.
This is full on carb day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? That's still red.
Okay, lean up just a little bit.
Like that?
There
Oh yeah. That is awesome.
The best.
Is that from your lanyard?
The best part is, the part that is not red, that was for my credential. For my credential day.
So good.
Which was actually blue. The media credentials are blue, so that's legit right there. Memorial Day weekend, red, white, and blue.
Oh, what a good tribute.
Richie did do a nice tribute.
job.
There you go.
I love this.
The weather was so nice. It was great. I was like, I'm wearing long sleeves because it was a little bit on the chillier side, and there was some overcast, beautiful weather outside the rain on Sunday. And I was like, I don't need no stinking sunscreen. What are you talking about? Apparently I did.
40, 50 years from now, when I'm done and gone and shit the bed, Richie's going to remember his Indianapolis 500 when he gets his freaking melanoma cancer on the back of his freaking neck. God, it was a great time at IMS. Oh, hell.
But
Hey, everybody needs a little bit of vitamin D in their lives.
True.
You know?
Right.
vitamin D and all American
It's fun.
rejects.
It was just like it was just 4 or 5 hours in the sun. That's not, you need that. You just can't stay inside like a hermit all the time.
So
never wear
are you
sunscreen.
done with the 500 now? Can you get after it mentally as much as you did? Say you go round 2. Are you still as fired up about trying to go to another one?
Yeah, dude, I told you I'm addicted now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like there's something like you can probably experience it a different way every time you go. And so if I go again, I'd go and do it a different way than I did this time and do stuff that I didn't do. So
True.
Absolutely. It is Cole. It is the most addicting. It is. I don't know if you could go to a sporting event and be more addicted than this. Like
I bet.
I've said this before. I've covered a Super Bowl, and it was great. And I don't know if I ever want to go back because it's just like okay, this is just a football game. But like you go to the Indianapolis 500, and this is not like I mentioned to you on Sunday, Cole. Like this is just not. It's not a regular race. It's everything is just like 100 out of 10. Incredible. So thank you, Kenny, for allowing me to yip yap for 15 minutes.
It's all right.
Back to you.
You
I
deserved
can keep
it.
going.
It is true. We didn't spend a ton of time in the garage area, so there's still more of that to do. I never got him inside the pagoda. We didn't spend a lot of time just chilling behind the pagoda. He hasn't seen the gold bricks on the yard of bricks yet. There's a ton. We didn't do any sweets. There's a ton more to still do. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's wild.
Oh, I get to see Tom Brady too.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to talk about Tom Brady.
Yeah, Tom Brady was there.
Jimmy,
Neither does anybody at that stadium.
Jimmy Johnson gave a great teaser beforehand. The whatever it was, the driving thing around the track.
Oh, the two-seater.
The two-seater. Yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah, there's 2 things I want to do. The first thing is I want to crash. I want to crash him, so just so we can get that feeling." And I'm like, "Oh, is he gonna do it? Didn't do it. Come on,
Jimmy.
One can dream, right? That Tom Brady wrecks in the Indy car, but that's what it is.
I've heard drivers booed there, whether it's NASCAR or IndyCar. Massive boos I've heard in that stadium, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Excuse me. I have never heard boos as loud as I did when Tom Brady was introduced. The entire place it sounded like thunder. It was bizarre. I'm like, whoa.
Well, his social, I didn't see the social post.
Oh,
was it X or was it Instagram? His clapback was
Instagram.
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty much on point. Oh shoot, I wish I would have taken a screenshot of this. He basically said it felt good getting one final solid drive past the Indianapolis Colts fans.
Yep.
I mean, you got to admit, that solid fire.
Hey, he handles it well.
He does.
Again, Indianapolis 500, your 109th running. Alex Palou, your winner. Go to our YouTube page. Well, you're on our YouTube page right now watching this show live, Horsepower Hump Day from Lucas Oil Studios. Alex Palou, Crasher had a chance to catch up with Alex just after the race. You can go to our YouTube page to watch that interview. And again, just reiterated the fact of just a good dude this guy is. I'm sorry we don't have anything to report on the guy, any gossip, any gnarliness. It's 3 years ago, there were issues with a contract between McLaren, Alex Palou, and Chip Ganassi. There was a lot of talk last year about Alex Palou going Formula One racing, but Crasher, that seems to have subsided as well. He's kind of nipping that in the bud, isn't he?
Yes, and we were told, listen, post Indy 500 win, come on, guys, let's not make that the story. Let's focus on the Indy 500. But here we are a couple days later, and I believe it's Bob Popcrass and Nathan Brown who have started asking the question. And Alex Palou, I don't have the exact quotes in front of me, but he's basically said, Formula One's not calling anymore. Now, is that because of the massive contract dispute that he was in 2 years ago? Who knows? But he doesn't even care anymore. It's now his goal to rack him up over here in the States. He has brought up in so many different nonchalant ways, or even just descriptive ways, that he gets to celebrate with his family when he wins an IndyCar race. He gets to hang out with his mechanics and hang out with other drivers in the bus lot as an IndyCar driver. You don't do that in Formula One. He appreciates being able to do that and actually having a community, a supportive community around him in IndyCar racing. So he's also not necessarily dreaming of going to F1 like he did as he was a little kid. Who knows? We may see him in IndyCar, like I said, racking them up for years to come, and let's just enjoy it.
I think my theory is why F1's not calling is because they know he would whoop all of them if he went over and competed. That's my theory.
Oh. Well, what was it? It was a Marcus Ericsson and potentially Alexander Rossi as well, but I know for sure Marcus Ericsson has talked to him about driving in the back in Formula One versus constantly being in the front in IndyCar. You know where you want to be. So it's like, okay. Even though you might be giving up a few million, your happiness matters more.
The first name that comes to my mind, Crasher, was D'Amata when he left Champ Car or Kart. What was it at the time?
That was, I think it was Champ. Regardless, it wasn't
Cristiano
the IRL.
D'Amata.
Cristiano D'Amata, yes.
Champ Car champion, left for what he thought were greener pastures. And didn't he go with the initial run of Toyota?
I believe so.
Was it? And just sucked. There weren't enough boobs to suck, meaning he was so hind boob. He couldn't find it. He was so far back. He stunk.
Yeah. No, it was bad. Sebastian Bourdais.
Bourdais as well. Yeah.
Gosh, we could go through the list. I mean, Michael Andretti didn't have a great run there. I mean, there's just, as we've seen with the formation of Cadillac F1 and them being awful to Mario and Michael Andretti, Americans, as much as they say they need them and they want them, they're not welcoming to them. Or, I know, Alex Palou's not American, neither was Cristiano D'Amata, but coming from the American way of doing things and then going into the F1 fields, it's just not as welcome, and it's not fun.
One last thing before we get to Conor Daly peeing in his seat once again.
The important things.
There was a comment from Alex Palou talking about Formula One, talking about Indianapolis 500, and really not bagging on Formula One, but also the weight that the Indianapolis 500, in his eyes, the weight that it doesn't carry in Spain.
Yeah,
which was strange to me.
Very strange to me, yes. Because you asked him on our last interview, I believe, how often do you speak with Fernando Alonso, Pedro de la Rosa? I don't know if you said Carlos Sainz in that interview. And he said, honestly, we don't talk much. We talk every once in a while, infrequently, but not a lot. And then pair that with the fact that Palou, post-Indy 500 win, was with other journalists looking for where his win ranked. That we're talking just hours later, all these news stories going through Spanish papers, Spanish magazines, and it was buried. It was already buried. Wow. That's mind-blowing to me. He's the first driver from the country of Spain to win the Indy 500. He's the 75th original driver to win the Indy 500, and it was buried.
That's sad.
Other countries, look at Marcus Ericsson.
I was about to bring that up.
Yeah, Marcus Ericsson, his country, he had a party of almost, was it 25,000 people? Or maybe it was 20,000 people that showed up just to party with him in the Borg Warner. And Palou said, no, that wouldn't happen in Spain. I think he specifically said, I'd be shocked if only a few people showed up.
Well, come on. But right?
Okay, hundreds maybe. But that would be a few compared to what Marcus Ericsson got, compared to what Simon Pagenaud got in France. Why? Why is it so odd to be so big in the country of Spain? I don't know.
Cole, what if this happened, Cole? What if he was running in Formula One, came over here to America and won the 500 and went back to Spain with that G-Dam trophy? I think things would be different.
I mean, I would imagine so.
Right?
It seems like F1's a more like globally renowned sport compared to IndyCar and even like NASCAR. But yeah, that would make sense to me.
Yeah. So
you could also partner this with, and Richie's probably seen this more than all of us, all the F1 fans complaining about this year's Indy 500. Why does it have to be so nationalized? Oh my gosh, what's all this red, white, and blue? Why? Why? I'm like, wait, what do you mean why? It's been this way every year. This is our American holiday called Memorial Day weekend. Why are the Formula One fans so mad at that?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't get. Formula One fans are like the most like. I don't know the exact and best way to put this, but like they are very protective, I'd say. And like so anytime you say anything bad about their sport, they're going to come after you. Anytime they try to step out of their comfort zone, they're going to come after you. And it's frustrating for a sport that is continuing to grow here, so much so that Monaco, despite it being pretty unwatchable, really, for the most part, on Sundays, was the third most watched Formula One race in the history of the United States. So, yeah, I don't understand all the F1 fans coming after the Indianapolis 500. That was not unexpected. I will say that.
Yeah, not unexpected.
I think that gets to my number one beef with Formula One, how pretentious they are, and they've been, and they continue to be. And the fan base for Formula One is almost as blue-collar, and I say this, almost as blue-collar as NASCAR. It may be a little bit younger, but the way these fans stick up for a pretentious series, it's like us sticking up for Jake Paul. It's like some guy that's got crazy money, he's crazy popular, and then Jake Paul's the best influencer on the planet, man. He's my man. Don't criticize Jake Paul. It's like, get out of your freaking vacuum. Never thought I'd say that. Your Formula One vacuum, and really look at your series for what it is. Technologically speaking, I think it's incredible. It's bananas.
It's the top.
And just like when Richie saw the Indianapolis 500 for the first time, when I saw my first IndyCar race, Formula One race at IMS, it made no sense to me, meaning how these cars could stick to a track so fast and left and right turns. Your mind is going, this does not, bam, he did.
And then you drove an F1 car in Barcelona.
I was in, it was a two-seater.
Oh, it was a two-seater.
And I'm in the back seat of this Formula One car. Granted, I wasn't cooking, but regardless, I'm still hauling ass backwards on Catalunya going into whatever the hell it turn is. It's like, it's not going to happen, but it just happened. It makes no sense. Technologically, I think it's badass. I think Drive to Survive, right?
Yes.
1 and 2 had brought down their pretentiousness to where we could be a little bit more relatable with these douchebags. But hearing these people stick up for the pretentious, maybe that's me just so stuck in the Bernie Ecclestone era of assholery that it's still difficult for me to relinquish my despise for a series that, frankly, I took it personal. They shunned me. Ralph freaking Schumacher shunned me right in front of my face, laughing at me. And I don't need to get into that again. But it still blows me away that these people are sticking up for a series that all they do is look up at the series, and they're sticking up for Jake Paul, man.
And ripping other series, series and races as big as the Indy 500, ripping others, the competitors, to what they hold so dear.
Yeah, the perfect example of that is after Kyle Larson crashed. There was a video that surfaced of him giving the thumbs up as he ran past Scott McLaughlin prior to the green flag. Yeah. And the Formula One fans, of course, went straight to the, "Oh, is this your greatest driver in the world?" Right? Comments. Right. I do want to go. Can I go to the comment real quick?
Yeah.
Blake commented, just like we were talking about, he agrees. He said F1 fans think their shit doesn't stink, and that's entirely what we're getting at here. Yeah. I wonder if their tune would change if instead of going to a Formula One race where you don't have access to drivers, there's so many people you can barely get around, and you take them to their first IndyCar race or take them to the Indianapolis 500, where you can still get your favorite driver's autograph fairly easily, right? Because these drivers are walking around in and out of the garage and signing autographs, and they do a massive autograph session on Saturday. You put them in that situation, and that changes their minds.
Without question. Yeah. How could it not?
Yeah.
All right, Richie. Are you ready for a soundbite to get the Formula One skip dicks rolling on me?
Yeah, let's do it. You got to take a single shot.
Give me a single shot.
Oh, no.
All right, all you happy Formula One bastards, listen to me here. You've got a Monaco race that, frankly, my daughter could run backwards and provide more excitement. You have Indianapolis Motor Speedway and Indy 500, a 4-hour race where these dudes, and at one time women, are risking their freaking scrotums and ovaries, 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4. Those turns at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the risk that these men and women take at that race, come on. Monaco? You're more concerned with a snappy freaking oh, no, it's not a 75-foot. It's a 125-foot boat sitting over there in that freaking blue-ass water. No. No, stop it with this, you Formula One happy bastards. Indianapolis and the Indy 500. I'm not saying the entire series. I'm saying this race compared to Monaco, and damn near every one of your happy Formula One races kicks its ass right there in the nuts. Take that, Richie. Cut it up, put it on YouTube, put it on Instagram, let them go.
Well then.
Well said.
Jake Paul fans.
Well said. Well said. I mean, there's not ever going to be a Formula One race that is ever going to get the 7 million viewers that the Indy 500 got this year. And it's not even close.
In the U.S.
In the U.S.
In the United States, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think Formula One is arguably close to their peak right now with U.S. viewership because they need to still do a lot if they want to keep this momentum. And I don't see anything changing in the near future.
Correct. Even though they're still getting McDonald's sponsorships.
Right.
Right. I think they announced that this week, among other things. Gatorade sponsorship, too. So the money keeps rolling in for them, but we still have to watch Monaco.
We can all use the NASCAR example of after several years after the IndyCar split, NASCAR, unfortunately, I'm not saying it was because of Dale Sr.'s death, but combining NASCAR's rise at the time with the unfortunate massive tragedy of Dale Sr. dying brought a bunch of eyeballs to the sport, and they blew up. You can combine that. I don't think NASCAR really knew what to do with that at the time. So, I mean, they rode that wave, but then all of a sudden financial situations changed and it became a lot more challenging. You could kind of see something similar like that happening with F1 if they don't continue to look outside the box in their marketing growth.
I think Las Vegas was an eye-opener. Las Vegas, the first one was not, but the second one was an eye-opener for Liberty Media and those that run Formula One. Like, we're not as high and mighty as we pretend to be in other countries when we roll into Las Vegas. Consequently, lower ticket prices, more things to do, some freaking access that wasn't there with the first Vegas Formula One race. Maybe
giving out a bunch of freebies to locals.
Yeah. Maybe that's the case. Realize we're not a bunch of G-damn minions that want to swallow your freaking residue once you roll into a track. No, we're not, for the most part. You okay, Cole?
I'm good. I'm enjoying this.
Right? Don't ask me to repeat what the hell I just said 10 minutes from now because I have no idea.
Well, you said something about swallowing your residue. Can we talk about other bodily residue?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, we can take this into Conor Daly if we really wanted to.
Yeah, go right ahead. Crasher, it's all yours.
Oh, okay. Well,
and explain. Go ahead. Backstory.
The backstory is obviously the Indy 500 was under a little bit of a rain delay. So you take this rain delay, all the pre-race festivities went off. It was swimmingly amazing. And then suddenly, can't start yet. It's cold. We have drizzle. Oh, the drizzle got a little bit worse. So what ended up happening is these drivers that, you hydrate at specific times leading into your race. Everything is planned out by like 15-minute increments. You know exactly what you're doing so that when you get in the car, you've got your certain proteins and everything activating. I don't know how this works, but this is just what I've been told, including your hydration. Everything's activated and ready to go. You also plan on when you're going to start sweating that out, and it's going to be all A-okay. Well, guess what? With a delay, you're sitting in the car, you're not active, you're not doing anything. All of a sudden, you got to pee. And we learned this by David Malukas in the post-race press conference, and I thought it was hilarious. And us with SpeedFreaks, we're not news breaking necessarily, so I was kind of looking around wondering if anybody else is going to put this David Malukas quote out there. I wasn't seeing anybody putting it up on Twitter, so I did. The rain delay, this was David Malukas's paraphrased quote. The rain delay actually gave us some time to sort out some fitting issues. He's talking about different things in the cockpit. And then he went on to say, but I just had to pee so bad. So the delay was hard with that. I just needed to get the race going or else I was going to piss in the seat. So
hold on a second. Give me a four-shot, Cody.
I put that out there.
What are you talking about that it wasn't breaking news? That's breaking news, right?
That is breaking news.
Yeah, so don't act like we don't do it, man. Okay. When it comes to freaking bodily fluids, we're all over that shit.
Okay.
All right?
You want to be a part of the Freak Nation, that's the kind of breaking news you're going to get, because others apparently didn't want to put it out there. So I'm waiting. I don't see it from Jenna. I don't see it from Nathan. I'm like, I'm going with it. So, yeah. Anyway, fast forward a couple of hours after the race, and other drivers started seeing that this was out there. Alexander Rossi, I believe, was the first one to respond. I think he either responded to it or he quote tweeted it and said something like, oh, there it is. I don't think I've ever had to go so bad in my life. Glad I wasn't alone. And then Malukas responded back to him, I believe, saying, man, I I had to go so bad. And then Felix Rosenquist said, oh, retweet. And then the skull, I'm dead. And so that's then essentially what led into what Conor Daly said the very next night. The Indy 500 has an awards banquet. This year was a record purse of $20 million plus. And the winner took home $3.8 million, a little less than last year. Or no, excuse me, 2 years ago when Joseph Newgarden, no, it was last year actually. Last year, Joseph Newgarden took upwards of $4 million home because he also got that bonus money for being the first guy to go back-to-back in 20-some-odd years. So it wasn't the record amount for the winner, but it was still a ginormous amount of money, $3.8 million. But Conor, you noticed this fodder, this, as he called it, toilet talk, and you just had to chime in, didn't you?
I want to thank my mechanics specifically because there's been a lot of talk tonight, and I saw on the internet as well, a lot of toilet talk and maybe some using of the bathroom, and because we had to wait a long time before the race, right? Never in my life have I urinated in my race car until Sunday. I was sitting on the grid, and I was like, this is the best car I've ever been in my whole life. Like, I'm going to have to pee in this thing. I kid you not.
Oh, God.
I legitimately urinated in my race car before the race even started. Before the race even started. People asked me, like, when did you do it? I was like, we didn't even start. We sat in there for 30 minutes.
Was it because you had to go, or was it excitement?
No, I had to go really bad. It was, I don't know if it's the diabetes or I'm just getting older, but Elio should know. He's like halfway to 100. I don't know if that happens to him a lot. But,
Elio?
Man. I don't know, maybe it is getting older, but I literally did the entire race sitting in my own pee, so that's a tough one. I felt like we're in the trust tree here. We don't have to show that on Fox. Maybe you guys can just keep that to yourselves.
They can just edit that part of live out.
Tough. So thank you, mechanics, for dealing with that.
So epic.
Now do you see why they were talking about Conor Daly in the broadcast, how gnarly it would be if he won the 500?
That was legit one of the coolest moments of the entire actual race, where Crash and I were inside the media center, so we're behind, the glass there in the media center that, goes onto the front stretch. And it's a little bit more soundproof, so it's hard to hear the cars at points. But when Conor Daly took over the lead of that race, you could hear the cheers of the crowd over the cars and through the damn window of the media center. That's how cool that was. And man... And we talked about on Sunday, he legit had a great shot to win that race, and the car just went away at the end there. If that didn't happen, he as we've talked about with Alex Palou, maybe he would have been able to hang out front there and win.
Well, for people like Cole who haven't followed the IndyCar series as much as we have, and where Crasher's born and raised, the significance of Conor Daly and his dad, Derek Daly. Explain why, Crasher, it would have been crazy when a homegrown dude would have won the 500.
You just don't have very many of them that have. So yes, Conor Daly was born in Noblesville. Actually, I don't know if he was born in Noblesville, but raised in Noblesville, Indiana, just a little bit north of Indianapolis. And yes, he's always all around Indianapolis, and he's never a pretentious celebrity there. People can go up to him and hang with him anytime, and he's cool with it. So he even was the only driver that went to the snake pit, not just on carb day, but pre-race. That was badass. Yeah.
That's the guy you want to root for.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Hours before the race, he gets up on stage with the DJs, and it's completely packed. Flames are going up everywhere. Snake pit is rocking, and here's Conor on stage with his helmet, jumping up and down. Yes, he's a guy that he is beloved in Indiana. And his dad was too. Derek Daly never had any sort of pretentiousness to him either. Formula One driver, IndyCar driver, and then became a part of the TV broadcast. And yeah, he would always come on the TV broadcast and radio broadcast. Top of the morning to you, Indianapolis. That was a horrible accent, but you get what I'm saying. And people would know him as the top of the morning guy. And yeah, it would have been huge.
Not to take away anything from his personality, his driving capabilities, but his stepfather is
Doug Bowles, which I think everybody knows. Doug Bowles.
Wait, I did not know that.
You did not know that? Oh, no. Yes. So Doug Bowles is his stepdad. Doug Bowles married Beth Bowles, who was Beth Daly, by the way, a champion jet skier. I went one time to Lake Havasu at the end of the IndyCar season. This would have been 1994, I believe. Yes, I believe 1994, after the Laguna Seca race, I went and watched her compete in the Jet Ski World Finals. She's a badass. She was amazing. So, yeah, we hung out and partied with them a little bit many, many years ago. Yeah, that's his mom.
And Doug Bowles is?
Doug Bowles is the president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. She and Derek split, and then she married Doug Bowles. And, yeah, so she's now the second in charge of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you could arguably say. And she was all over the place this weekend, too. She's a great ambassador for the sport as well. Obviously loves her son and wants to see him do well. But it's great. It's a great little family.
Crasher went freaking jet skiing with the Unser family. That's no bullshit.
That's unbelievable.
I did.
That's no shit.
Very jealous.
Go ahead. Tell the story.
Well, I just told a little bit of it. Yes, it was the end of the 1994 IndyCar season, and we drove from Laguna Seca, which was the season finale at that time. We drove down to the Lake Havasu, and it was the Jones family, so P.J. Jones and his girlfriend at the time, and yes, Al Unser Jr., Al Unser Sr., both of their girlfriends. No, it was Shelley Unser. So Al Unser was still married to Shelley at the time, and it just amazing group. Me and my boyfriend at the time, and a bunch of other guys. We took all of our motorhomes and put them right on the beach of Lake Havasu, and that was our mornings and our evenings. We just partied balls right there in Havasu, and then drove over to the World Championships, came back. Derek and Beth had one of the rental houses right there by the championships. It was awesome. It was definitely a week. I'll need to find the photos again. You've seen the photos of us on the beach. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll try to find that and post it up on social if I can find it again. But it was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
And here's another one for you. Hold on. Our motorcycle might be ready.
Oh.
Okay. One last story. One last snorkel story with Crasher. We were talking about that. We were talking about like Havasu. You're talking about the Unser family, Derek Daly. Where the hell was I going with this? Sorry, I've got this phone call coming in. I'm trying to remember what the hell you were just talking about. Oh. Again, Crasher's significance of open wheel racing certainly is here. When Crasher started with SpeedFreaks, her boyfriend at the time was the crew chief for who?
Scott Dixon.
Damn.
Yep. Daryl Fox, amazing mind. Ziggy was also, Ziggy is with the Andretti team now. Gosh, which team? I think, is Ziggy with Kyle Kirkwood now? Daryl and Ziggy, two guys from New Zealand that are just brilliant minds, and they've been with the series forever. Still doing the series amazingly.
Dude, we could mic drop right now if we wanted to.
Good. Okay.
Absolutely.
Cody's over there going,
Earn that right.
Damn.
Cody's like, okay, so how'd you get her away from Daryl?
Right. That's for another show.
Well, we could though, just real quick, the super quick story of it is because I was with Daryl, you had a girlfriend too. So let's just go on and say we didn't really like each other.
Let's just stop, please. Let's just stop right now.
Hold on. This is the truth though. We liked each other as work people together, but I was a bitch to work with. I'm not going to deny it. And so I said some things that weren't necessarily appropriate. Kenny fired me. Within 6 weeks on the job, I was fired from this very show, SpeedFreaks. Mm-hmm. And, as it turned out, a week later, somebody else was in my spot on radio, and I was not having that. And so I came crawling back for my spot. A month or so
that's
later.
about all we needed to go.
That's all we needed to go. We started
doing
sales calls. I broke up, he broke up, and the sales calls turned into what we
that's
have
fine.
now.
She's told that story on this show a lot. We're coming up on the 25th anniversary of the show in less than a month. So
can we expand on SpeedFreaks After Dark at some point, maybe?
Right, exactly.
Would that be a good, all right.
Wine, bonfire. Yes, we can.
All right, Freak Nation. There you go.
We do have a tad. Well, it's not breaking news because it came out early today, but we do have official numbers from the Coca-Cola 600 on Amazon.
Oh, let's do it. Yeah.
Yes. Right. From Adam Stern, Prime Video got 2.72 million viewers for Sunday's Coke 600, or according to Nielsen, the first Premier Series race to be exclusively digitally streamed in the 77-year history of NASCAR. Last year's rain-shortened event on Fox got 3.103 million.
How do you not consider that a huge success?
Yes.
It's a massive success.
Yes.
All the bitching and moaning about the 60-year-olds that aren't going to watch it.
Yep.
And then I would have said the over-under was about 1.5 million. Mm-hmm. What is 2.7?
2.7.
Holy crap.
Granted, last year was rain delayed, but last year was 3-1. Come on. You're 2.7 to 3-1.
I think that's a testament to the marketing that Prime put into this deal. Like they are very serious about keeping NASCAR, I think, for the long haul. And just the production overall was phenomenal. Like the pre-race show, post-race, all the commentators, the cameras were phenomenal. Like they were like broadcasting 4K or something. They had so many angles. It was just amazing. I loved the entire broadcast. And that's why I was so engaged, too. Me and Cody were talking about it off the airwaves. Like, it was just very engaging. It was beautiful to watch, and it was just very well done. And they had so many, like, technological things that went right as well, as far as, like, the intervals and stuff like that. It was updating in real time as opposed to when the cars crossed the start-finish line. So it was just an incredible product. I loved it.
Good, because Richie and I could barely watch it, so I'm excited to watch this next one.
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch this weekend coming up here. It's a Sunday night race, Nashville. I've always been a big fan of Dale Jr. and Steve Letarte up in the booth. I think Adam Alexander does a great job too. So I'm curious to watch that. And the cool thing that I really liked about Amazon, people loved, is they had like an extended hour-long post-race show, which was awesome. And they brought up the drivers to the desk, and they were drinking beer on the set with Dale Jr. Like, that's cool, man. That is really cool, and that's something
real.
You never would ever get that on Fox. It was a 5-minute post race because they had to fit their TV window, and then they were out, and that was it.
It felt like the speed days when they had whatever it was, NASCAR Victory Lane, I think it was called. And they had that hour-long show at the end, and it was just a lot of fun. Yeah, they did an excellent job.
Wow. I will say, like, when I first saw the number come out, I was like, 2.7 million for your Crown Jewel race seemed a little low to me.
Crown Jewel.
One of the Crown.
Coca-Cola 600 is it's Daytona 500, Coca-Cola 600, Southern 500 are like probably your 3 Crown Jewel events on the NASCAR schedule, right? And
don't forget that Brickyard.
And the All-Star race.
And the All-Star race. No, I don't think the Brickyard's Crown Jewel. But
not anymore.
So like when I saw that, I was like, well, that's just what they normally get on a week-to-week basis. Like, you can tune in and watch a Pocono race and get 2.5 million people tune in and watch a freaking Pocono race. So at first I was like, okay, well, this seems a little low, especially when the motorsports viewership in general on Sunday just was skyrocketing. We already mentioned the success of Monaco on TV, the success of IndyCar on Fox's debut. But then there's this other little nugget, which from Austin Karp, and he pointed this out, that the age gap for the Coca-Cola 600 viewership. I think this is the key that Amazon is going to take away from all this, which is the age gap for the Coke 600 will be around 6 years younger, 56 to 62, compared to Cup Series on linear TV networks, a gap similar to Prime versus NFL on linear last season. That's a big deal.
It's a big win. Yeah, I was curious to hear those numbers. Thank you for bringing that up. Very cool.
There were similarities to the National Football League when they went to Amazon. There was a lot of bitching and moaning about the old white dudes bitching and moaning about, really, I've got to go to Amazon to watch a freaking football game? Yeah, guess what, Skip Dick? Yeah, a lot of people did. And they had crazy numbers there with Amazon, the National Football League. Same thing's going to happen. And I'm sorry, you just said that the demographic was younger for the National Football League too, right?
Yes, on Amazon, correct.
And that's like what NASCAR is striving for. They want to get a younger demographic in. And you have people going to streaming now. They're cutting the cord, going to streaming, and that's the numbers you want to hear.
By the way, shout out to the big folks at Amazon there, the corporate overlords, because I was able to take advantage of their free trial for 30 days. So I didn't have to pay a dime. So thank you.
I can promise you right now that NBC and Peacock are retooling their broadcast after what they saw with just that one race.
You hope. You hope.
Unfortunately, with NBC, you're going to have NBC, USA. No, I don't see any just strictly streaming Peacock Cup races, right?
I don't think so.
No. It's in the playoffs are mostly on, believe it or not, mostly on USA Network. I think there's only 2 races in the playoffs that are going to be on NBC, championship race, and then one other. I don't exactly remember what it is.
It's a big L on that front.
If Freak Nation, if you haven't seen these initials yet, you will see them now that I bring them up. It's called DTC. And what these groups are doing, ESPN, Fox Sports, NBC, I could go on and on and on. It's called direct to consumer, where they're just going around the Hulus, they're going around the YouTube live TVs. They're going to offer direct to consumer programming, which is just what Amazon did. Directly to they're bypassing the networks, direct to consumers, and ESPN busted out their framework of direct to consumer. It's either coming out later this year or first of next year, to where, again, you don't have to mess with the Hulus, the Spectrums, everything that you want in sports on ESPN you'll be able to get through their app. Mm-hmm. And that's where everybody's going.
Right.
Like it or not, 60-year-old man in the lawn with a shitty lawn chair. And
some TBR.
I got some more numbers, by the way, going along the lines of the.
And that's on the heels of 7.1 million for the Indianapolis 500, which was bananas.
So it was. I don't have the exact number, but it was over 7 million.
Which is awesome.
Which is beat out this year's Daytona 500 in terms of viewership. Granted, a lot of. Go ahead.
I have a counter to that.
Yeah.
So, at the initial start of the 500, there were 7.96 million viewers. Then you had the 3-hour rain delay, so that diluted it, and they averaged out to I think it was 6.7 million viewers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there's some caveats there for sure, but I mean, again,
in both cases,
Indy 500 was
absolutely.
delayed by about half an hour as well. So anyway, back to these numbers and about NASCAR getting younger. So you look at the Formula One numbers on ABC. Those 18 to 49 numbers are about 800,000 18 to 49 in the 18 to 49 demo.
Right.
And Formula One is the youngest motorsport, I think, in terms of viewership. As from the numbers I've seen, every week they get big numbers. They get big numbers in that demographic, which is massive. NASCAR equaled that. They got 800,000 viewers in the 18 to 49 demo for Sunday's Coke 600.
Nice.
Which beats all NASCAR races that have been on cable but not broadcast TV since at least 2022.
Let's go.
And then the post-race show, which we were just talking about, averaged 1.04 million viewers as well. So they were able to retain over a third of their audience that stuck around for the post-race show, which is cool.
That's massive.
That's good. That's huge for engagement. Yeah.
Sunday night on a holiday weekend. I'm joking.
Late Sunday night.
I'm joking, but not joking. Again, you don't have to get up the next morning, and it's, again, the majority of men, they're tired of their freaking children, their wives, and their relatives, or their spouses, and they say, I got to cut loose and go to Joe's bar, or I need to go down to the basement, or I need to go in my kids' room and watch the goddamn post race, man. You think I'm joking?
No,
the man cave.
Yeah. That's good to hear.
It is.
That is
very encouraging.
I know that NASCAR is going to be happy with that. Again, that's just where it's at, man. It's these streaming apps, direct to consumers. It's coming.
You guys were all poo-pooing that earlier this season. The streaming.
I was. I hated it. I still don't really like it. I still think it's silly.
That. He was doing that. I wasn't. No, shit, no. I know where it's headed. It's stupid.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm curious to see where these ratings go from there, and if Prime and NASCAR are going to be as eager to put out these numbers week to week.
Yeah, is Nashville going to be? Is Nashville going to be able to carry any of that?
Hold on, though. Did you say Nashville's kind of an evening night race?
Yeah, it's 7
which is
p.m.
a great
That's a
marketing
good
tactic.
thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I'm curious though, like Pocono, tracks like that, Pocono, Michigan, where the racing is not as held in a high standard, and it's not. You don't see that much viewership on a normal race weekend, I guess.
That's a good point. But you know what? There's lots of different things to play around with for Prime for next year. Mm-hmm. So, they'll get it good. Well, okay, so we didn't see much of this NASCAR race because we were in Indy. Mm-hmm. What happened with this whole hat fiasco?
Yeah, before we get to that, I want to go back. I want to go to our comment section on YouTube here from Big Glenn and Blake who are tuning in. Glenn makes a good point, which is that NASCAR and Prime has been all over local sports radio in Indy. So that their marketing campaign was really high octane, similar to Fox Sports with the Indianapolis 500. Crash, you talked about that on Sunday, where they were having dudes showing up at Major League Baseball on Saturday and
dousing milk on
themselves in milk, and it paid off in droves with a massive, massive number. Blake also weighs in and said, maybe the best post-race show I have ever seen. Just give me Dale Jr. and I'll watch for as long as possible.
Agreed.
Which is 100% true. One more from Blake, too. He said, if you ever listen to Sirius XM NASCAR radio, the hillbillies were bitching up a storm about streaming. Those numbers are awesome.
That checks out.
Yeah.
It's the hillbillies that he was referring to, or the old white dudes that were bitching and moaning about Amazon, are the same old white dude, generationally speaking, that were bitching and moaning about, I'm not going to listen to a race on satellite radio. I'm going to go to my AM station K-Box and listen to notes. Same sons of bitches that were bitching about Toyota coming into.
I was just going.
And then they go outside and hop in their Honda lawnmower and mow the damn back 40.
Yeah, and just couldn't comprehend that these Toyotas are actually being made in America.
It's giving the old man yells at cloud meme from The Simpsons.
All right, go ahead and set it up, Greg.
Okay, yeah. So the biggest story that came from the Coca-Cola 600, in my opinion, was the saga of Ross Chastain's hat. Ross Chastain was your winner of the Coca-Cola 600.
Hatgate?
Hatgate. Hashtag Hatgate. Ross Chastain with a great final stint in that race to beat William Choker Byron to win the Coca-Cola 600.
Another nickname.
And so, come to find out, people were watching Ross's in-car audio at the time, and in that in-car audio, we get this. This is really hard to hear, but... Yeah, I'll go and talk over this a little bit because you can see the captions too. But anyway, this is the in-car audio of this dude running up, a random fan. You can see him running away in the blue shirt there. Random blue shirt guy comes up to Ross, sticks his head inside the window of the car, and steals Ross's hat off of his head and runs away. And Ross is like, yo, go grab that guy. I want my hat back. I want my hat back. This random dude just got
a little
that.
more choice language.
Yeah, exactly. And you can see it in the captions there. And luckily for Ross, by the time the post-race rolled around, press conference rolled around, he got that hat back. So here's Ross Chastain in the post-race press conference explaining Hatgate to us all.
I did. This is, yes, I believe this is the hat. Not very dirty, but yes, I did. Yeah, that was unfortunate. A guy was on pit road. He was super excited. He reached in. I high-fived him. I didn't know him. And he just, like, grabbed my head, and I thought, oh, he's just, like, saying, oh, yeah, good job, buddy. And then he just pulled the hat, and then he did this little dance, and he said, I got your hat. I got your hat. And I was like, I'll give it back. And he ran away, and I was like, I just shut the car off. And I pointed, and the NASCAR security and Tony Lunders was there, and the security group. I was like, that's my winning hat. Like, that means it rode in the car. So every week, every race car I ever drive, I set the hat. I have to have a hat with the hole in it so that I can put it on the shifter and it rides on the transmission tunnel every week, every race. So that's the hat, and I'll put that on the shelf. It means a lot to me, and I'm not going to give that away.
Right, 10-4, I saw that, and I saw security too.
Yeah, I was a little brutal with the words I was saying, but I wanted the hat back, and he was running away. Like, he knew what he was doing, and he grabbed it off my head. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I didn't like it either. Congratulations, Ross.
Good. It's happy ending.
Yeah, it's
happy hat ending.
Shameful and embarrassing on that guy's front.
It is.
And that's
Why
cool.
would you do that?
It's cool hearing the sentimental value that Ross has for these hats, and it's a cool tradition he has too, like putting on the shifter in the middle of the race. So yeah.
And then if you win, or if he wins, then that hat means more, and that's what he said. He puts it up by this trophy.
And it's the biggest win of his career, the World 600. You know, so happy they got it back.
Sorry, Coke, Coca-Cola. It is the World 600.
600 miles, baby. Whoa.
4 stages.
And we didn't even talk about this, about Kyle Larson finally admitting that he's probably done doing the double.
Man, he was just so defeated. Like, the entire week, it felt like. This event specifically took so much out of him. He just seemed so tired, so drained, and I think it's finally dawning on him, like, this is it. Like, unless he's done, like, full-time, like, you can't really make an attempt.
Well, and I don't know if you guys thought about this. There is someone that's not in his life, that's been in his life over the last half a dozen years, and John Edwards, PR person, who PR person is the name given to these individuals, but he was more of a PR mentor, conversationalist,
agent,
therapist,
friend,
agent, bodyguard. That earlier this year, John Edwards passed away, and probably someone more important to even Rick Hendrick during this week of IndyCar and NASCAR is John Edwards. And being able to manage the most popular driver between those two series combined, his career, his schedule, had to suck some life out of what he was doing, on top of just having really a shitty time in practice, wrecks a car, wrecks out in the 500, has issues with the 600, wrecks out there.
That's an extremely valid point.
It's a big void, very big void.
That had to have been hard. Yeah. I mean, you obviously saw the tribute with the sticker, but yeah, just the lack of John Edwards' presence, that's big. Really big.
Let's ask Kyle Larson about this 4 or 5 months from now. Yeah. It's when you're at your most vulnerable and you're so low, yeah, you're gonna go into that gutter and have gutter talk. But if you're sitting peaking, if you're coming close to winning a race, yeah, I'm gonna be it just
how's that?
Just like that. You got to step back, and when he has a clearer head, ask him that question about running the double.
He definitely wants to come back. As the double, maybe not, but maybe post NASCAR career, come back and just do one-offs. He wants to do it.
I mean, just from a competitor standpoint, and any athlete, and you set a goal of doing this, and you fail twice. One was completely outside of his control, obviously in 2024 with all the weather, but then this year to have it go so poorly, like you have to imagine the competitor in him is saying to himself, I need to prove to myself that I can do this. And unfortunately, and this has been brought up on a couple different other podcasts too, it's like the way NASCAR is now, it is. I don't know if it's worth it because there's a situation where Crash and I were talking about this the entirety of the rain delay. It's like, oh shit, he's not going to be able to finish this race. So speaking of the Indianapolis 500, because of the rain delay and because things were so tight already, they would not have been able to complete that race, and Tony Kanaan would have had to step into his car because of NASCAR's new rule. It's like, listen, if you miss the driver's meeting, you go to the back. If you miss our race, you lose your playoff points. And that's a tough hurdle to get over for any NASCAR driver who wants to try and do this again. And I think that's really, really unfortunate because as we've talked about so often over the last 2 years when talking about Kyle Larson is doing this 500, 600, 1,100 mile double, like that's such a great marketing tool, not for IndyCar and for NASCAR. And for NASCAR to put their foot in their mouth and be like, I don't think you guys want to do this, right? That's a mistake, and it's unfortunate.
And meanwhile, there are other drivers who do want to do it. And it is a shame because we've said it ad nauseum on the show. All boats rise on a high tide. Each series could benefit off of each other. Make it happen. I mean, IndyCar's not completely in the good side on this. I mean, they have moved their start time as well.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah. Could they move their start time back another hour? Absolutely. Let's both sides work to make it happen because it's huge for just motorsports in general when it can work.
Yeah, I was wondering because I feel like in years past, obviously I haven't been in tune with it as much as this year, but I feel like the 500 used to start at like 7:30 our time as opposed to whatever it was, 10:30, 9:30 Arizona time. So it's like didn't make much sense.
Yep, it used to be way back in the day, the 11 o'clock-ish start. So we're almost 2 hours from that. So, yeah, it's both sides need to make some concessions. And come on, help drivers make this work to help the sport get better. Both sides of the sport.
Cusimano, do you realize really why the Coca-Cola 600 started?
Why it started? No, I don't.
Bruton Smith, with the help of probably Big Bill France, said, really, those open-wheel guys have 500 miles? We're going to create 600 miles on the same G-damn day.
Badass.
Just to F with IndyCar. And IndyCar and their highfalutin ways just maybe took it as a slight or like, come on, it's the Indy 500. Well, Skippy, now it's NASCAR making the demands or the subtle demands of we're sticking to our guns, man. We need our most popular driver here.
Yeah.
You know, that could be the freaking Sprint Car Nationals up there in Indianapolis. We got the Coke 600.
I mean, to go back to what Crash said, it's basically like Tom Cruise and Jerry Maguire. Help me, help you. Help me, help you. Right. IndyCar and NASCAR. Come on.
Yes.
All right, Freak Nation, dropping Friday morning is the Money Stop, Mad Insight from Cole Cusimano and his brother Steven Cusimano. A couple of long dog Italians dropping dimes out there helping you find out where you need to drop some money for the Nashville Cup race. Sunday night, by the way, on Amazon. So go to SpeedFreaks YouTube page to catch that. It drops 7 a.m. Eastern, correct?
Correct. Yep. Also Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Got it. You could have those jacked up peepers again. You can be all right.
I think I'll be all right. Yeah, we're recording early tomorrow. Oh, they're much better. Yeah.
Cole, speaking of money stop, do you? Big Glenn wants to know any bets on the Knicks?
Congratulations, Big Glenn and Crasher, on your advancement to the finals of the Indiana Pacers.
He's already calling it.
What a
The series was over after Game 1 when Halliburton did the Reggie Miller choke sign. This team just has no competitive fire right now. It's a shame. They don't play defense. They don't play fast enough. Congratulations. We'll be back next year, though. A little Jalen Brunson celebration.
Well, you know where Jalen Brunson came from.
Nova.
What's the professional basketball team he played for prior to the Knicks, Skip?
Oh, the Mavs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Freaking Mavericks. Happy bastards.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
Oh, what are we doing? Oh, jeez.
Hey, Halliburton son, basketball. Oh, baby. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, why am I not
sure hope
wearing
this-
Oh, no.
let's go.
No. This is just brutal. This is so brutal. I mean, it's really cool if I'm being honest, but brutal.
Look at that.
Fellow leap year baby, also
Incredible.
fun fact there. Leap year baby, Halliburton.
Who's older?
Me.
Really?
Yeah, 96. He was 2000.
by one leap year.
One leap year, exactly. Damn.
Let's go.
Tasty, huh?
It's unfortunate that the Pacers are playing and get smoked by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the finals, but
That's all right. That's all right. Let's just, let's take one series at a time, Richie.
gotta enjoy while you can.
All right, Freak Nation. Again, the Money Stop drops 7 a.m. on YouTube. Official Speed Freaks on YouTube, 7 a.m. Eastern. And then again, Sunday night, Freak Nation, right here on YouTube, Facebook Live. You'll catch Speed Freaks 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, where we'll have all your Nashville coverage for your Cup race, IndyCar for Detroit. And if you missed that, Racer Network, 12 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. Formerly MAV TV, Racer Network. Later.